one investor to another, venture capital firm Ivy Cap Ventures has raised 2,100 crore rupees through its Fund 3. 90% of this corpus is from domestic investors, and Fund 3 had a basic corpus of 1,500 crore rupees and a provision to raise an additional 600 crore rupees as a green shoe option. Now, the VC firm, which plans to invest in Indian startups over a period of 12 years, is looking to invest in about 25 companies, and the fund's focus is on high-growth companies across sectors, emphasizing strong potential and scalable business models. Joining us now to discuss their plans with Fund 3 is Vikram Gupta, founder and managing partner at Ivy Cap Ventures. Vikram, thank you so much for joining both Shruti and I in the studio today. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me here.
And, as I said, so you've closed your third fund at $250 million. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, the sectors that you're focusing on, what's looking exciting for you at this point in time?
So, we are Series A investors. So we like to invest, let's say about 30 to 50 crores as an average, taking significant minority stakes in companies. We like to spend a lot of time with our founders, helping them in scaling up their businesses. We have a very structured mentoring program, and we are targeting to invest this 2,100 crores across 3 different buckets. Okay. So there's one bucket, which is 25 new companies with an average of about 50 crore investment. And then there's another bucket, which is seed stage investments, where we will be investing 100 crores with an average check of in the range of 1 to 4 crores. And then the third bucket is 400 crores roughly, which is follow-on of our existing portfolio, as long as we are not leading the rounds or we are not giving a secondary to the previous fund. So from a sector perspective, we are sector agnostic. Okay. We are always looking at Series A's ready sectors. And we believe there's a lot of disruption happening in areas like generative AI, as applied to consumer, healthcare, fintech, agri-tech, food tech. These are the areas. And then there are disruptive sectors like we're talking about climate tech. We are talking about space tech. And we recently did an investment in Dhruva, for example, Dhruva Space. Correct. So we are quite excited. I think from a timing perspective also, I think this is a great time to be investing in Series A.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, you're investing in Series A, but all of the data from last year says that there's been a drop in funding from Series A, and now that's where you're coming in. So Vikram, tell us what's the investment strategy like, and how are you going to help your portfolio companies grow apart from just giving them the funds?
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, our funds are going to be deployed actually in the next 24 months. So the fund tenure is 10 plus 1 plus 1, 12 years. We are looking to, we've already deployed 40% of the fund, by the way. So last year was a great year, actually, from valuations perspective. I think it was a great year to actually be investing. And we continue to carry the momentum as some of these investments are looking very exciting. But we believe that the next couple of years, it's going to shift towards a lot more capital flowing in to Series B, C, D stages, which is actually very good for Series A stage companies. So I think it's quite exciting in terms of how we are looking to actually very actively engage with our founders. And we have a structured, as I was saying, structured mentoring program where we actually work along with our founders, provide them hand-holding support like recruitment, for example, recruiting at the key management positions. We also support them in providing them access to the network of the entire IIT alumni, which is our anchor investor.
Correct.
So that's the support we like to provide across all our companies. And of course, there is Ivy Camp platform that we have, which actually engages with lots of startups. And there we try to provide the support in terms of connecting with various corporates, various accelerators, incubators, and of course, the other investors in the ecosystem. So we created like a 360-degree kind of approach.
So you've built an ecosystem to bring everyone onto the same platform, essentially, right? But just to pick up on a point that you were saying, you even mentioned Ivy Camp. You've got 100 crore rupees that you've earmarked just for seed stage startups through this Ivy Camp process.
Correct.
So how are you picking the ideas? What kind of ideas are you going to invest in? And will they be across the same sectors that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, so, seed stage bets are always about investing in areas which look very disruptive but may not have been tested before. These are disruptive technologies. Like I was talking about generative AI. even climate tech, for example, there are huge opportunities emerging there at seed stage. What Ivy Camp does is basically engage with these startups on behalf of various corporates who actually sponsor these programs. And that helps in actually, identifying startups who are actually sponsored by these corporates. In the process, we are able to understand which founders are actually very passionate about the problem they're trying to solve and who are the right founders to work with. And I think that process has been going on for the last since 2015. And that has helped us actually identify seed stage companies. Typically, we do about, let's say, 4 crore kind of a target, which is like a $500,000 check. And there's a lot of opportunity emerging.
Absolutely.
In that space.
Yeah, Vikram, let me quickly go back to Fund 3. And like you mentioned, that 40% of the corpus has already been invested. So take us through your top bets. And of course, if you could elaborate on the average check size for Fund 3 that you're cashing up.
Yeah, so as I was saying, there are 3 buckets. So the first bucket is Series A, where we're doing like an average of 50 crores.
Okay.
There we've already made 7 investments. So we invested in companies like Eggos, which is, there's no single national brand in eggs. So Eggos is trying to build the Amul of eggs across the country. Then we've invested in companies like Agrega and Celsius, which are logistics, cold chain logistics. Celsius is actually disrupting that space. Agrega is actually cross-border logistics. Then we invested in GradRight, which is actually disrupting the higher education financing. Recently, we invested in Snitch, which is another disruption in fast fashion for men's. So we are looking for, disruptive businesses which might otherwise look, like natural, common problems that you're trying to solve. But the way these problems are solved is very important. So we look for what are those technologies that are being used that will solve these problems.
All right. And if you could quickly tell us in 30 seconds, what's the exit strategy and what are the returns you've seen? Because big returns there, right?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Actually, so if you look at the exits that we made so far, we've done very profitable 7 exits. And except for one, which was a secondary exit, rest all were M&A exits. We sold Clovia to Reliance. We sold Ojus to National Stock Exchange, Socrati to Dentsu. So our strategy, when you're investing at Series A, you're looking to exit through an M&A as an outcome, because we're holding these companies for about 5 to 6 years on average. But there are instances where you can take the companies all the way to the IPO. For example, Bluestone was a Fund 1 company and is actually getting ready for an IPO. So those kind of exit scenarios as well we are looking for.
All right. Unfortunately, we've completely run out of time, but excellent returns. And what more can an investor ask for? Many thanks, Vikram, for joining us in our Mumbai studio, and wish you the very best with your Fund 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Arundhati.
Thank you so much.